Hello, CBN colleagues. Happy Women's Month. Warm greetings from Accra and my sincere appreciation to the management of the CBN, the father of the house, Governor Emefiele, his deputy governors, in particular, Deputy Governor Aisha Ahmad, my sister, whose kind invitation has brought me to you today. As the world celebrated International Women's Day last week, we pledged to break the biases, whether conscious or unconscious, against women. As we gather today to talk about breaking the bias against women, for CBN ladies, I want to challenge you to think first about your own biases against yourselves. How do we as women see ourselves? Do we feel confident? Do we feel that we are able to do what it is that our male colleagues can do? Do we feel that we're able to dream without any limitations? Are we ready to do the work that it takes to be all that we're capable of doing? So the first bias we should break is our own biases. The biases, sometimes the voices in our own heads that tell us we're not good enough, that tell us because we've never seen a woman do it, we probably are not able to do it. And I really mean that, because it is important that we change the narrative in our own minds and we tell ourselves we can do better. It starts with us. It starts with us, and if we are able to tell ourselves that we are more than enough, we are more than enough for any role, for any task, for any duty, we then will begin to walk the walk and do what it takes to occupy our space around the table, to fill every room we have the opportunity to be in, and to leave a legacy. And for me, what is important is not that we break the bias so that we acquire titles. For me, it's about finding every opportunity we can as women to develop ourselves, to grow, to occupy, to step up, and to fill the room, and to remember always that the opportunities and privileges we have are meant to be used for the good of all and not for us alone. And so we need to be very clear about why it is that we seek growth. Why is it that we seek office? Why we want to occupy certain roles? And as we seek to grow, as we seek to expand, as we seek to be elevated, we need to be very clear about what that would mean for the rest of the world. And so the second bias then I would want us to think of breaking is how we break the biases that we have against each other as women. All too often I see that we women do not even trust that our other women colleagues are able to do the job. Sometimes we don't give them enough support, and sometimes it's because we ourselves don't even believe that women are capable. And I see this happen all the time, where you find a woman pass a comment that they think is complimentary about how well you are doing as a woman, and there's a sense in which they're suggesting that they're surprised that you, a woman, could do so well. And I find that quite unfortunate, but I believe that it is years of being conscientized by other people's biases against us, and we need to break that bias. We need to tell each other that we are all capable, and that given the right support, given the right preparation, and given the right attitude, we can be all that we seek to be and make an impact. And so it's important that we lift each other up. It's important that we create room for each other through support, through mentoring, through coaching, through sponsoring, and everything it takes, so that we're not the only ones at the table, but that we step up and we show others the way to also rise up. So that would be my second key point. My third key point would be that as women, let's seek support from others. We're not going to be able to do it alone. We're not going to be able to rise up alone. We live in a world with men, and men can be some of our greatest allies if we know how to engage them. For me, gender equity has never been about them and us. It's never been about women versus men. It's always been about women seeking to occupy the space that is available to them, or the space they seek to create for themselves. And in doing so, we need allies. And there's so much we can learn from our male colleagues, our friends, our fathers, our brothers, our husbands, our partners. Let's consciously and intentionally seek support from them. Seek their point of view. Seek their help. And more importantly, make them understand who we are and how we show up in the world, how we show up at the table. Very different from how they show up. But it's our responsibility to explain to them and to help them understand what our needs are, what our points of view are, and how we see things and how we do things, just so that we can understand each other and work together. We're always going to have to work with men, and men are some of the finest people we would ever work with, and it's so important that we cultivate meaningful relationships with them, professional relationships with them, full of mutual respect for each other and mutual consideration for each other. And so that's something that I would want to stress as well. And then I would go on to add that we each as women need to be very deliberate about bringing up the next generation of women. So make it a point wherever you are, and it starts now. You don't have to become deputy governor before you find a course. Wherever you are now, make it a point that whatever you do, it is your duty and responsibility to show another woman, a younger woman, that it's possible to do what you're doing as a woman, and do it as a woman would do it, not as a man would do it, but as effectively as possible. Being able to manage your time, being able to manage everything on your plate as a woman, your home responsibilities, your community responsibilities, your work responsibilities, yourself, as elegantly, as graciously, and as brilliantly as possible, and do it while lifting others up. And so it's very important that we be the light that others seek to follow, and that because of how we do it, younger women can look up and say, that's who I want to be, and also find a way to get in there. I want to share a little bit about myself. So I'm now going on to 26 years of professional life, having started out as an attorney in the mid-90s, and not knowing at that stage, or even much later than, that I was ever going to be deputy governor. But the one thing I always did was to seek out and desire growth, personal growth, professional growth, excellence, resilience, hard work. And I was never afraid to seek new opportunities. I was never afraid to get out of my comfort zone. In fact, many of the career choices I made were insane. For example, leaving law practice to go study finance in business school for 2 years, and then going to work in a bank, and after a few months in treasury operations decided that I wanted something more challenging, and branching out into consulting, and very early on starting my own firm, which was a boutique financial law practice that catered to a very unique client base, and then getting into regulation as a securities regulator very young, working for donor agencies that allowed me to work across Africa in helping to develop in financial systems, and then at some point migrating to the US, where I lived for about 10 years, first raising children, and then at some point working with the International Monetary Fund, traveling around the world, working in different cultures, in different regions of the world. Very, very, very sort of nerve-wracking sometimes experiences, very exhilarating experiences. And sometimes, many times, I'll stop and ask myself, Elsie, what drives you? Why do you make these crazy choices? But the one thing that was consistent was the fact that I wasn't prepared to settle. I just wanted to learn so much about the world, so much about how I could use my gifts and my experience and my skills to make a difference, and to learn as much as I could, so that whatever opportunity that came my way, I could bring a very unique set of skills and experiences and knowledge and personality traits to be able to do something that would be very unique and leave a lasting impact. So that has driven me, and one thing has led to another, and today, almost 26 years of service in different contexts, in different cultures, in different situations, facing different challenges along the way, but always bouncing back and failing forward even sometimes, and just pushing forward through the barriers, through the biases, as a woman, as a black woman, as an African woman, and working around the world. Today I find myself here, and one of the first things I realized after being in this role was that it takes as much technical and professional experience as it takes personal growth to be able to excel in a role like this. It takes the years when you felt knocked down by life, where you felt not appreciated, where you felt everything and everyone was against you, where you felt strange, and you found yourself in strange places, where you got doors shut in your face because of the color of your skin, or because of your gender, or because of your accent. All of those things shaped me in a way that allows me to manage myself in my current role. So I got appointed as Deputy Governor, the second woman ever in the Bank of Ghana's 65 years as a central bank, and 20-something years after the first woman had ever been Deputy Governor. And one of the first things I had to do was help to manage a banking crisis that led us to close some 420 financial institutions, including 9 banks, a number of savings and loans companies, and hundreds of microfinance companies. It was novel in Ghana, and I was coming with my financial crisis management skills from the IMF, and I helped to manage this. And I had to do most of the communication around this with the public. And it took a lot. It didn't just take my technical skills and experience. It took strength, it took boldness, it took courage, and it took just sheer resilience to be able to say this was what was needed in the public good, and working with the governor and my other colleagues to drive these reforms. And then you would think that wasn't enough after the crisis and after all the cleanup efforts and the rebuilding of our regulatory infrastructure and our supervisory framework to be able to avert another crisis like that. We got hit by the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, and then we had to get back into crisis mode and put in a number of measures to avert another major crisis. And since then we've been managing this, and as you know, I mean, the world is now dealing with geopolitics and a crisis around that, and we're still trying to manage the fallout of that too. So that's what it takes. It takes a whole lot more, and I believe that wherever you are today, whatever you're doing today, whatever you feel is frustrating you today, is actually meant to prepare you so that one day, when you've gotten to the top, you can say, whoa, my character has been formed, my strength has been formed, and I'm able to take whatever comes my way, and I'm able to do it graciously, and by God's grace, wisely, and in a way, more importantly, in a way that shows others how to do it. And so I want to just leave that with you, that thought with you, that you're not where you are by mistake. And there are times when you might feel, oh, I'm overdue for that promotion, and I'm not being given enough challenging work, and everyone seems to be getting ahead of me, and somebody doesn't really like me. It doesn't matter. Find yourself in those spaces. Be confident. Know who you are. Keep your dreams in mind and in sight. Keep working, slowly sometimes, but keep working, and be patient. And find your moments to celebrate yourself, to rest, to recharge. Get help, get counseling, get coaching, get mentoring, all of the things you need to keep you going in the right direction. And always remember that there's nowhere you're going to get to in life where you would have arrived. If you ever got to a place where you think you've arrived, ask yourself again. I don't feel like I've arrived. I keep going, and I'm in this role to serve. I'm in this role to serve. I'm not in this role to feel, oh, after all those years of hard work and struggle, I have arrived, I can take a break. No, you keep going. You keep your mind on a course. You keep your mind on the public good. You keep serving. You keep growing, and you keep learning, and you keep seeking new opportunities to grow further and to impact even more. My dear lady colleagues, I do hope that this has been helpful. I look forward to more opportunities to engage with you, hopefully one day in person and sometime soon when it's safe to do so. But for now, happy International Women's Day, happy Women's Month. Warm greetings again from the Bank of Ghana, especially from the senior management, Governor Ernest Addison, First Deputy Governor Maxwell Opoguafari, from my good self, from all of us here, in particular the ladies of Bank of Ghana. Special greetings from the ladies of Bank of Ghana to the ladies at the CBN. And we do hope to have more opportunities to engage with you. All the very best. Remember, you're more than enough. Break those biases. Thank you.